First of all, I say congratulations, of course, to Blackpink for reaching 100 million subscribers. That's crazy, right? Like the most popular band of all time, and what's called a Ruby button. That's what you get on YouTube. And I think it's kind of fun. I used to be that guy. Since I just got into Blackpink just a few days ago, right? Imagine if I was the 100 million subscribers. I want to imagine that I am, okay? Give me that, okay? But anyway, guys, today then, we're gonna do two things, right? I watched a new video for Blackpink, but also I'm gonna watch making of the production, right? It's my first video. I was blown away mostly by the visual. I'm not saying that the music is bad, right? I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy the song or whatever, right? But for me, right, from like an art director kind of guy, I was just incredibly impressed, right, by the visuals. And I was really taken back that the bear trap was an actual bear trap, because I was really wondering, you know, okay, is this bear trap really not, right? Is it? So yeah, 100 million subscribers, that's awesome. Maybe I was number 100, but like I said, today we're gonna do. So in this video then, we are doing do. I really wonder if I pronounced it correctly. As a side note, no Frida video today, because that was delayed today. That's why we're doing this thing here today instead. My plan was to do this tomorrow actually, but since Frida was delayed, okay, whatever, then let's do another Blackpink video, right? And like I said, right, I would be really interested in watching the later bit as well, how they're making it so well. Because I'm a flashy guy, I like how to produce stuff, right? Just a quick side note here. I have made this outfit myself, you know, like this outfit here, right? The actual shirt, I made it, right? With the actual design here, you got like Miracle down here, right? You got the slave on the top, on the shoulders. There's my shirt there. Oh yeah, now here we go. You got like, you know, Miracle on the sideline. It's a Merlot on the back, right? I made it myself. I made this myself, this thing. So I like it, you know. I like stuff, the more flashy stuff, right? This is my favorite, you know, tool, right? You know, 3 texture stuff, because 2 nunchucks not good enough for me. I need to have, you know, a much more complicated stuff, flashy stuff. Okay, let's get into it. But yeah. Okay, sorry, just very quick interruption here. My mom is a badass, okay? I actually grew up with a Chihuahua, okay? And my mom, she likes action movies, okay? She's a crazy warrior lady. So her favorite movie is, of course, Terminator, right? With Schwarzenegger, the second movie, right? So I grew up with a Chihuahua, okay? And my mom named it like Terminator. And he was super aggressive too, it was super funny. But, yeah.
원하던 대놓고 뺐지 너무래도 칼로 무배기 두 손엔 카디칼 배치ks 궁금하면 never fact check 눈 높인 꼭대기 물 만난 물고기 좀 톡해 난 toxic 유혹해 I'm foxy 두 번 생각해 흔한 남들처럼 착한 척이 못하니까 착각하지 마 쉽게 웃어주는 건 날 위한 거야 아직은 잘 모르겠지 그저 원하면 test me 넌 불보듯이 뻔해 만만한 걸 원했다면 I'll wait till I do what I hit you with that 뚜두뚜두 Oh yeah, oh yeah Hit you with that 뚜두뚜두 Oh yeah, oh yeah
Yeah, super catchy. That obviously what the title is, do, right? I don't know what it means, I think. Leave a comment below. My Korean is spotty, right? As the last video, I can count to Hana, do set or whatever, right? I know all the words for like body parts. It's a little bit funny, but I do. We have Mitchag and so on, right? Because I've done, like I said, Taekwondo for like, I don't know how many years, like 15 years, something like that. I don't know, but I don't Taekwondo for many years. Right? So I know all like the, you know, what's like a pomsi, it's like a pattern, so, but I don't know much basic language. But I am assuming that do, it's just kind of like, you know, or something like that, or it's kind of a catchy word cell. Yeah, I guess, right?
지금 내가 걸어가는 거린 Blackpink for waist out 거리 동서남북 사방으로 running in a bucket list 생각해 흔한 남들처럼 착한 척은 못하니까 착각하지 마 쉽게 웃어주는 건 날 위한 거야 아직은 잘 모르겠지 굳이 원하면 test me 넌 불보듯이 뻔해 만나는 걸 원했다면 Oh wait till I do what hit you with that 뚜두뚜두 Oh yeah oh yeah hit you with that 뚜두뚜두 Oh yeah oh yeah What you gonna do when I come through with that What you gonna do when I come through with that 뜨거워 뜨거워 like fire 뜨거워 like fire Blackpink Oh yeah oh yeah oh yeah oh yeah 뜨거워 like fire 뜨거워 like fire Hit you with that 뚜두뚜두
That's another like mind blow. Honestly, right? Honestly, I said last time. I said by saying that when I'm watching Blackpink's music videos, I feel half my brain is just like, "What's that? What's that?" I don't know. It's like it was very very catchy. Okay, it was a very very catchy. I would say it was catchier actually than the first one, Kill It, that I listened to first. I would say this is the catchiest one, but it's like also we're going over man of course, but like I don't know, like I am just like it's so much visual, it's just genuinely like whoa. I feel my brain is like like I'm high or something. Yeah, it's so much thing happening, but I love it. That's why it's so fun, right? Because one thing that I felt immediately in the first video is that I can rewatch this music video like 10 times, right? 20 times a day, right? And for example, when I work, I have a boring job at a desk, right? Sitting at the PC doing the stuff, right? And then I have 11 screens around me, right? And it's like missiles flying, people dying or whatever. But from a physical standpoint, sitting at a desk, right? So I have like 5 screens, right? I can play music on or whatever, right? And I'm definitely a guy that I don't listen to music like Spotify. I listen and I view music, right? Leave a couple of agree with me. But that's really how I live. I very, very rarely do I just have on a tune, right? So it's kind of hard to explain it, right? But I just mean like this feels like a perfect work song for me, right? Because, like I said, if you agree with me or you do the same thing or whatever, I do definitely approach, I feel, music like that, honestly. I think I always did that, but especially these days, right? Sitting at the desk, having all these PCs or whatever, I have so many screens, right? And I have like 7 laptops or whatever on my desk too, but it's crazy. I have like none of them activated, but whatever. So many screens, right? And I always have like one screen. I always have one screen for music, basically. And I'm usually using YouTube there, right? And I'm playing like the music video, right? And I'm watching it, in a peripheral vision, right? So I have several screens, it's like home, of course, and I have one screen going here, right, with the music video, and I'm listening and I'm watching it all the time, It's like I almost never these days just listen to music, honestly. So that's why immediately when I saw the first Blackpink music video, I was like, oh, this is good, man, this is good. I can have this on work, I can listen to the songs, get all the catchy do, and I can listen, and I can view it, right? And I'm gonna view it because I loop. I like the loop stuff, right? So I loop it like 10, 20, 40 times, right? So I'm gonna loop this song now. I'm gonna loop it over and over again. That's how it is I listen to music. I think so overall, yeah. And the same thing with any kind of new song that I found. Like earlier this week, I found a new Super Beaver song, Sunset. I really love that song. It's also a very good song. I listened to it early this week. That I had like 8 hours basically, like a full work to use like Salsa, just having the music video, listen to it while I was sitting at the PC, you know, and I have one screen just constantly. 10 years ago, roughly 3 years ago, when I was working as a creative director at the game company, I was working there. I had one screen where I had written the script, so it used to get like random anime openings from YouTube, and we just play them, right? So if you just play like it's just like a random anime opening Go kind of thing, and I just had it in my office, just constantly doing, and I was showing the opening on a giant screen, right, in this like glass office, so everyone you see one of my walls, like imagine this whole wall behind me is constantly being like a random anime opening. I did it most to piss everyone off now. Nobody was funny. Another corporate complained on me because they would show you some weird anime openings, and people be like, "Oh, this anime opening looks too much" or whatever. I don't know, but it was funny. Anyway, sorry for the long rant. Now, what we do, right, is that I'm gonna go over a course, just like last time, talk about the visuals, talk about the music, and then we go to the how it was made, right? But I feel I wanna first give you my impression and, you know, kind of my theory, you know, how it was made, and just talking about it, right? And before I watch behind the scenes, I think so. Maybe there's a wrong way to do it. Honestly, I haven't thought about it, but it feels more natural, right? If I give you my guess, my impressions, and then we see if I'm right or not, or can I see more of it, right? I think so. I think that would be a better video, but whatever. Again, tell me what you prefer, but I think this is a better flow. So let's go back to the beginning. Yeah, this is a platform they built then, right? Yeah. So, like I said, I was very impressed when I learned that the bear trap was a real bear trap. And of course I did check out the behind the scene then yesterday for that video. It's linked in my last comment section. That was really badass. And this is a stage they built then, right? Like a some reverse staircase, I guess. But I think the bear trap, that was the bear trap is still probably the coolest thing. Except the tank coming later, the tank is freaking badass. But I mean, this here looks, this is probably not that hard to build. I think it's more impressive probably how they're, how it's being directed, right? Because this thing here isn't hard to actually construct. It's more how the camera is giving you that good angle, right? That makes it feel more airy. But thinking about it though, it's also like a reverse, it's a normal section in the ceiling though. It is more, this is what I mean. I didn't even think about it the first time. I don't think so. This is actually what I mean, right? I'm rewatching it and I'm immediately seeing something I didn't think about the first time. Maybe I thought about it subconsciously, but yeah, that's a really, yeah, then it pans out, right? There's a lamp, there's a lamp in the middle of it. Then it was throwing like Blackpink too. Do. Yeah, this is great in here. Now I love this here. She throws. It looks great. That is really great. Is her hair? No, it's a pink color throwing, right? But I think what I really like though, something here, that is it her nails, her nail polish, right? Has the same color as kind of the secondary color of the smoke, right? She's throwing the Blackpink thing, and then she has like her nails are like kind of teal turquoise, right? That's like a really nice detail, fitting for the colors there. I think they're really nice. And I also like, I love asymmetric clothing design, right? Like I said, for example, I made this my own. This shirt I have on me, right? I made it myself, right? I love this kind of art, right? Where I have like Yurichi here from Bleach, right, on one side. Then I have Miracle on the other side, right? So I think that to me is just better visually, okay? Absolutely. Some people get angry. I had a coworker, we talked about her. She's also like an artist designer. She was angry at me. No, it's symmetry. We had many debates over that. But in my professional opinion, asymmetric clothing design looks better, right? I think it looks better. So like here, for example, then I could have had, you know, two of the same character, right, on each, you know, side, right? But I think it is better if I have two different, right? Then the theme, of course, is that these are all like female characters from anime. They're kind of like, you know, muscular, kind of well-trained, and they all have like a Kuroga, like a kind of darker skin tone kind of thing, right? So it's a thematic thing, right? And I think that is what really sells it, right? Because you don't just want to have some random, you don't want to have like, you know, one side of your clothing is something blah blah, the other one is completely, you know, no, it shouldn't be asymmetric as in just random garbage, right, so to speak, to be rough, right? It should be like, okay, it's two different characters on my t-shirt. They makes it look, again, asymmetric, but they have a very similar thematic, or they have a similar fighting style. they have a similar, demographical fandom, right? In their different perspectives, right? They kind of are like the strongest, female warrior kind of thing in their, sideline storylines, right? So he has a symmetric, lore or whatever, right? Or like a general idea, right, of the clothing, but it's clearly different how they look and so on. I think that's important. It can't just be like completely random, like detached from each other, right? That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so my point, of course, from my clothing is that I like that she had different bracelets. That was like a super long point to say that. I was like, yeah, but that was what I was referring to. No, but honestly, I think this is great. I like that. I need to buy a new lamp. This lamp got broken, the foot of it. Then I was doing a Love Bite reaction. Then I got really into it because that's a really great song. And it cost like, $10? And I'm just... I was at a funeral last week. That's my excuse now. I had to go back to my home country for a funeral. But it's like, I need to buy a new lamp. I just never go and buy it. But anyway, yeah, so this is cool. I have a lamp or whatever. And then, of course, black, right? Thematically, of course, chessboard. I love this like stairs too. It's really well done. It's white sidelines. It's a good detail because otherwise it probably would just be like. So I'm assuming it's actual giant chess pieces, right? When I think about it, they could have CGI this thing or whatever, but given how these props look kind of real, it's really polished ground though. The effect is really great. It's interesting though how you see how the bishop there is white here, but it's like blue actually in the bottom there. I wonder if that's the lamps from. Same thing over here. Look at that. Yeah, it's more bluish teal here, right? But you can also see it here. So it's probably because they have they probably have a powerful light source, probably up here, right over her, that is giving this like light bluish, it's like a blue lamp. Because yeah, you can see it here, right? And that's why the reflection here is much bluer. And then it also has like a blue cascading effect there as well. The ABS is blue around here as well, right? That's also how you can tell it's probably isn't CGI for that matter. Because it looks, this one's kind of fading in though. But I guess they have like a pink screen behind them though. But yeah, I think they are real, right? And the reflection is... But it's a little bit tricky, because the reflection makes it look kind of different, because they have different colors. But anyway. Yeah, Tiara again. And like I said, yeah, I grew up with the Chihuahua. He lived long, though. He was like 16. So that's a great... because small dogs are... they live longer. So I had him... That was really sad. And I even used to, like... how do I say it? But my mom and so on went to the countries, right? When she would travel, right? She would go to like Thailand or whatever, like a month. Then she would leave the dog at my house, right? And so on. So yeah, I do miss my dog. I mean, obviously I grew up with him, and then he would be in my apartment or whatever, right? When I was an adult, and she would like, because my mom goes away for like about 2 months a year on like vacation. So you can kind of imagine it. Spoiling my life story here, but as you can imagine, if my mother could afford having a Chihuahua, yeah, it probably tells something. No, but but I mean, she's Swedish, and we have like a long vacation, so somewhat explain about that. But anyway, I do genuinely really miss my dogs. I had 2 dogs that I grew up then. First, we had this hybrid that was a half Rottweiler, half, I say the English word now then, German Shepherd. But of course I say Schäfer, right, because I'm Swedish. So we say the same word as the Germans, so we call it Schäfer, right? But a Shepherd then. And he was a dog we had when I was like a baby, right? So he was my first dog, he had the course, I was like 10 or so. And then we had the Terminated Chihuahua then. So I was like a teenager. And then my dad, he really could never buy a dog again. That was kind of sad, yeah. And he really could have that, man. But anyway, sad memories. Yeah, it's black and pink. It was a nice touch to it. And it comes great after she stood on that. But it is what I mean. I really do like how it's so asymmetric in all the clothing. And I allow her to keep changing outfits, right? But I also now how she has one glove, right? One glove on her one hand, the other hand is free, right? And also her nails are done differently, right? So yeah, I love it. But I think and I say this with all sincerity, right? I have for a very long time, kind of jokingly said, I should quit my job and be a fashion designer. I think I would be great at it. All my clothes would be no, but everything would be like this. Everything would be like this. And obviously, when I was a teenager, my favorite TV shows was like, Top Model, Fab 5, and so on. But yeah, I want all the shows, right? But I think this is great. This is why I love the music video. It's so... I'm getting like, oh my god, this is awesome. Because every frame is like a new outfit, I love it. I'm obsessed with it. This is really awesome. That bird is cool. Okay, so one thing here, I did notice it here though. I know I'm in the way here. Let's move my beautiful face up here instead. Yeah, it's very pink. So that's also a great thing. They have the Blackpink thing going, right? So it's a lot of black and white earlier. Now it's like a pink back instead. So yeah, they clearly have like, I just very pink, it's black, whatever. I digress. I think the tang on her sword looks really long, right? This looks like a very fake katana. I can go get one of my katanas. But the tang, okay, so you have a sword, right? What you're holding in the sword, now this is obviously a staff instead, so you can hold the whole thing in, right? But basically for a sword, right, if you have your hand, this is where the blade goes into it. So this is basically what's called a tang, right? You grip it like that, right? So the tang's length, they don't differ, but it depends. They usually are about your two hand size, right? With slightly more. But you can probably get like 4 hands of that one. So it looks like, like the actual blade looks, the yaiba looks very short compared to the tang. So it looks like a kind of a weird katana. It has like a weird model on it. Because a Kodachi katana, where it's like 20 different swords, right? A Kodachi, they would have a similar style, but they have like a different hamon, so their back wouldn't be exactly the same. And then Kodachi usually have a different hilt instead. So now I feel like super nerdy, but yeah. But I wrote a paper about swords when so, honestly, yeah, many years ago. But it looks, obviously it's cool. It says Blackpink. Yeah, get me wrong. It's a badass sword. It's obviously made for her. It's obviously like custom made, right? But I think with this kind of tag, the actual blade then, the yaiba, Demon Slayer called Yaiba's blade, right? The blade should probably be up here somewhere. The blade should probably be way longer. But you can definitely have a, don't get me wrong, you can have like an Odachi, okay, Odachi sword. Odachi sword, they have a lot longer tang because they're heavier, right, and they're heavy to wield. So Odachi katana, or it's Odachi, the katana is a bit sword. So Odachi are much longer. So if it was an Odachi, you could definitely have this kind of. But then the blade itself, the yaiba, will probably be up here somewhere. So they'd probably be a lot longer, right? Okay, so that's kind of the thing, right? It feels like the tang is too long compared to it. That being said, though, this thing would mean that it's much easier to wield it, right? Because it's much bigger on the side of you wielding it, so the weight distribution for your hand would be lighter. That's also why it wouldn't actually be like this in reality, because you would lose power, right? You would lose the sharpness of it, right? Because if you hold it furthest out, right, and you swing with it, you would, depending on how it's playing this thing, if you hold it furthest out, right, you get the maximum power. This Newton's law is basically displayed. Just like the staff here. If I hold it out here, I get the maximum length, right? So that gives me the maximum power. Force equals, equal to the distance or so on moving, right? And they have, it's called omega tiny, little omega, to calculate the speed or whatever. It's an Einstein formula. But anyway, so you had everything going, right? But normally, when you hold a blade, and also sexual staff like this, thing one, you will hold it up here, right? You don't want to hold it out here, because you have too little control. And you must cut yourself so on, so you actually hold your tongue here, right? Same with the staff, you won't hold it down here, that's crazy, right? You hold it up here normally. So you actually only have these two lengths. This will actually give me basically 2 lengths of staff, right? So that's 3 lengths staff, okay. Now, that's the point. So, the distance then from her hand, right? She's holding the sword then, here. This would be the length of the actual blade, right? Because you would never actually hold the sword down here. So depending on what this thing is, right? Where the tang starts, basically, or the hilt then, right? That gives you more power, right? So if the hilt would be down here, you would get way more power because you would have a further, from the axle of your body, so the force equals your distance of the axle. So that's like we give more power, right? So that's why a normal katana, this here will probably be somewhere down here maybe, and it's like a what's call it? It's percentage increasing, right? So just moving it one hand further down is like 20 or so percent power, or force, I guess. But anyway, super nerdy sword thing. Like 10 people probably unsubscribed now. But, okay. So I like swords, guys. I want like 20 swords. Anyway, swords are badass, okay? Obviously gonna be like, so everyone's gonna like stop looking at the video now. It's like, man, he really focused a lot on that sword. But anyway, I think interesting. Oh, this is cute though. Get into like science. Science of... Oh, she's one of those hammers. It's not early too, but yeah, it's not kind of funny hammer things. Yeah, it's obviously science here, and we're square, pink. So good details here. The heart, E equals MC2 probably. E every energy, I guess. Track number 1. I guess you call it CEO science something. These are the names, of course, of the band members. Yeah, the other Thailand there, I think. Square 2. Little reference there. Okay, this is like a really interesting outfit. This is what we call absolute territory outfit, right, in Japan. So you can have like, this, not much skin, right? But you're only showing in between the legs thing. Yeah. It's interesting. They're clearly purposely made to be too long for her, right? And so on. So that's kind of a weird... This is the same place as a bank vault, right? Yeah, it's the same building. The science wall, the bank wall, and then... Oh yeah, there you have the katana, of course, now on its stand over there. Yeah, and there's not a sword there then. I guess it's black, then it was pink. That's a good detail. I like this kind of yin-yang in black, what it is. Also reminds me of the chessboard. Suddenly we like a church again. Yeah, same thing last time. Suddenly the church again. This is really okay. So help me out here. Maybe not spoil too much then, because we have more videos, right? But do the different band members have different teams going on? Obviously, I must take a video now. Then I haven't seen that many, but I've seen like a religious church thing going on twice now, right? And honestly, I don't remember who was standing in the church last time. But I would imagine that, like, oh, this person is always on the track mill, or this person is always doing money stuff or something. It feels like they probably would have like a character trait each, right? But anyway, yeah, that was some dystopian background here. I love their outfits though. Yeah, it's very flashy. Oh, the hat is awesome. I want to have this hat, man. Where did I buy this kind of hat? I will buy this hat, man. I will buy this hat. Oof. This is a great color scheme. This always just works, right? Like white on the kind of reddish pink hair. Yeah, and she has red nails to it, right? It just really works. I think also this also works great, right? She has like the kind of almost the same nail polish as her hair and so on. That also just works really great, yeah. But this is like and this feels like one of those classic color schemes that just always works, like pink and red, or like red and pink. So, I mean, I'm wearing red, pink myself, right? I have a shirt on myself here with reddish pink, so I guess I'm really weird in that, but yeah, it fits right. Oh, this is the tank coming. The tank is awesome. I just Blackpink behind them. That's not his first. I was like laughing. Oh, the tank is awesome. Okay, the tank is gold. The tank is goddamn awesome. And then, yeah, shopping bags too on it. No, but I want to have this tank. Okay. My God, this tank is awesome. I wonder if it's like a real tank they remodeled, or is built like car to look like. It's probably just a machine, right, that drives forward. I mean, it probably doesn't. How would I phrase this thing intellectually? It probably isn't actually something you can drive. And I mean in the sense that imagine that you basically probably control it on this side. This is probably remote controlled, and so it's basically like a giant radio car, you know what I mean? And someone else is probably driving it, but not, of course, inside of it, like actually standing next to it, right? And driving it, so kind of controller. That's what I would guess, right? From how this thing looks. Probably. It would be insane if they bought an actual tank and rebuild it. I mean, I guess it would technically be possible, but that seems really, really expensive and kind of hard to do. I love it. They had the shopping bags on it though. It looks like it almost have reactive armor, but that's probably how it looks like. So reactive armor is when the tank launches explosions against itself to like remove taking damage. But yeah, see the text. That is awesome. This whole thing is awesome. Yeah, I like this thing too. Yeah, one of the fingers. What is it called now again? We had this like a kind of a like a sleeve for one finger. I can't remember now. Just over the back. No, but this is clearly the best visual, is it? Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. More Blackpink color scheme. Kind of meta, I guess. Oh yeah, not everyone paparazzi kind of feel it. Yeah, very meta scene here, right? Like, okay, we have this thing here. This are paparazzis. They're having this weird. They're just falling down, right? Like a catwalk almost, and everyone is like, "Oh my god, this we can make fun of her now" or something. So yeah, clearly like. It's probably the same church they built, right? Yeah, like a swing in it, in a chandelier swing. Down. Like I said last time, I do really love how they changed outfits every time, right? It would be easy for them to just, do this dance and this do part, right? In the same outfit like last time, but they have to change it every time, right? So, yeah, she got this like, I guess like half moons right now, or whatever. But keep changing it every time. Yeah. Okay, this is nice. The licorice. Yeah, this is the same staircase, right? Oh, yeah. I think so, because it has the same ceiling, right? So now they probably moved that thing on it, right? Yeah. It has to be, right? So this is like the same, platform we start in the beginning of the video, right? This is probably recorded first, of course. And and then we change it here, right? So then we move this like throne up to it, right? And hang these flowers. It has to be given it's like this reverse staircase and light source, right? So it's clearly the same platform. Obviously to don't have to rebuild it twice, right? But yeah, put it up there. Have a race queen feel to it. Yeah, this one. Yeah, then it ends on that. Yeah, and it ends on that throne, right? And they have removed kind of like the flowers hanging around it, right? I can really kind of see how this was made, yeah. And I like again the changed outfit. And I guess this is only for this frame, right? Yeah, they changed outfit only for this particular scene here. Okay, we're done. We sit in this throne and look badass. But yeah, it has to be, right? I can always follow the flow there. How it went up there, definitely. Something I was thinking about. See if I'm writing that. So just in here. Right and just yeah, so they go like that, zoom out, the chest a little bit like that, right? Yeah, maybe this is the best outfit with green gloves. they are really, yeah, it looks like some cleaning gloves, but it's just kinda. Now I'm thinking what's my favorite outfit. I think this is probably my favorite outfit in this video, But I just kind of like this kind of, you know, dystopian, destructive thing. Little bit Sailor Moon outfit there as well. One was obviously a giant hat. This, like, you know, rich lady giant hat. This kind of works though. Yeah, no, this is the winner. I'm kidding. This is the winner. This just really works, man. But it's probably I just like the colors, right? Red and white is the perfect. Yeah, pink, red, white. You know, it just always works, man. It always works, man. The pink color scheme. Okay, let's go into the behind the scenes then. We watched that and.
짠! 네, 여기는 블랙핑크의 뚜두뚜두 뮤직비디오 촬영 현장입니다.
So immediately, yeah, that's how I did it. I was thinking earlier, right? I was thinking like, okay, but how do we actually record them dancing on this platform, right? No, but yeah, of course you have those, yeah, so the camera can move. That was a bit interesting, I think, really. I think that actually kind of made it cooler than the actual platform itself, is how the camera actually kind of dies like that right in the beginning, right? So I see they have one of those very high mobility cameras. The camera can go in different heights, so yeah, of course.
네, 저희 타이틀곡 뚜두뚜두는요, 지금까지 하는 또 다른 블랙핑크의 강렬한 퍼포먼스와 매력을 엿볼 수 있는 또 새로운 느낌의 곡이니까요.
이게 총소리거든요.
네, 뚜두뚜두 저희 제목이 나오는 부분에서 저희가 동작도 딱 총을 쏘거든요.
Okay, that's what it is? It's like a gun sound? Do. Yeah, girl power with gun sound, that's what it means? So I was saying it earlier, right, when I saw the video, I was like, hey, what it actually means when they're... That, I did not catch up that, honestly. I did not catch up that was supposed to mean. That is like, okay, it's like gun, okay, it's like... Okay, yeah, it's like shooting, okay. I guess it's kind of same in Swedish. Yeah, I guess sometimes they do it. But I think that I usually probably imagine gun sound in like a word sense, like ratatatata, right? That's probably what I grew up reading in comic books or whatever. In the shooting, like, you know, machine guns, like ratatatata. That's probably what I imagine, like, if I was like, yeah, more like that, probably, like the T sound. Probably. But okay, interesting. That's what it meant.
이번엔 또 막 강한 여자로 변하는 건가? 막
너무 좋아.
원하던 대놓고 뺐지 너무래도 칼로 무배기
붐바야보다는 더 안 놔둔데도 같은 느낌이어서 비리는 것 같아요.
물 만난 물고기 좀 톡해 난 toxic 유혹해 I'm fox
사람들이 저를 못 알아보고 이 벽만 계속 찍는 거예요. 제가 이렇게 걸어가다가 넘어져서 딱 일어났는데 사람들이 다 저를 총으로 겨누고 있어요.
I was taking that earlier. I was taking that earlier. I wasn't really sure. Damn it, I should have said something. No, I feel embarrassed. But you can see how an honest, whatever, reactor you are recoiled, right? So I'm just gonna go back and edit that, okay? I was thinking about this earlier, but I didn't say anything. And now I feel stupid because I was thinking about it like, damn, they're kind of holding the phone in a weird way. I was thinking about how it looks here, right? That he's holding the phone in like a weird way, right? But so I was thinking this thing. Is that supposed to be gunman? God damn it! I feel like I'm a fool now. I feel like a coward maybe because I was thinking this thing. Does that look like a gun actually? Does it look like a gun actually? No, Spider-Man fell down. Looks like moved back into it. Into the painting. God damn it! I was straight up thinking this thing, you know, and I was like, huh. And I mentioned earlier, right, I was like paparazzi, something. They're all kind of like aiming at her or something. Yes, it was like, you know, it was definitely in my subconscious. They were kind of aiming at her, you know what I mean? Like, it definitely was there, but I didn't really see it. But I think that it's also really different though, honestly. Now, when I'm watching this behind the scenes, right, it is so much clearer visually in this panel here, I think. I want to go back to the music video again. I guess it's kind of clear here, right? But it's not as, you know what I mean? Yeah, this here looks like a gun, I suppose, a little bit. But it doesn't, the other scene clearly made it look much more clear it was supposed to be a gun. You know, obviously, now when I know it, now she said it, oh, it's supposed to be guns. Now it's like super obvious. Yeah, now I feel really foolish. Now it's like, oh, of course it is. It's supposed to be threatening her. But I still think that, you know, like, most of the frames here, right, because you're seeing it from like the phone angle, like you're seeing the UI, right? Whatever you see in the screen of the phone. This looks like that. It looks so much clearer, yeah. And obviously this is not actually the music video. This is like from a sideline, zoomed in, right? So yeah, this kind of frame, it looks so much more obvious that it's supposed to be like a gun. And also with this guy, of course, we can't even see it. So to be fair, I think it's much clearer from this kind of angle. But that maybe that's the point too, right? That the order in the music video is supposed to be, oh, it's a gun, but it's also like a paparazzi or something that's like, you know, harassing her or whatever, right? She's a favorite person, they're all like super annoying, right? You know what I mean? So it does feel like it has several different messages, right? But now when she said it, I was like, okay, it's now, yeah, of course.
Hit you with that 뚜두뚜두. Ah yeah, ah yeah. Hit you with that 뚜두뚜두. Ah yeah, ah yeah.
여러분 래퍼 진드기가 돌아왔습니다.
Blackpink.
I love this hat. Yeah, I love it.
Blackpink for ways out.
오랜만에 이런 강한 랩을 해서 되게 긴장돼요.
치는 것도 제 멋대로 하는 bad girl. 조금 싫어하고 누가 뭐라 하던 with a bass drop, it's another banger. 두번 생각해.
I have to say, I kind of wish they split the tank more. Yeah, I kind of wish they would explain the tank how it works. This I all get. Yeah, they have like a camera moving and so on, right? But I really wonder how the tank was. Maybe the tank isn't moving at all. Huh. Is that how it is? I mean, that would be the easiest. That would be the easiest. I suppose. When I see how this is framed now, right? And you have the paddler for the lighting here. I guess the tank isn't actually moving. And it's an illusion, right? What is moving is the camera. And then you play that, and it looks like the tank is moving. That's probably how it is, right? I'm thinking about it. I was thinking that they, you know, built a giant radio, right? You can control it the distance, you know what I mean? And it was hollow inside of it, mostly. I mean, you have to have an engine, but like, you know, mostly hollow, right? But I guess they're actually moving the camera around the tank, which makes the tank look like it's moving, right? I'm thinking about it. Yeah, when I see it like this, but this is also clearly why it's interesting, and I like that I do really appreciate that they have made this for the music video, because it's so much different feel, right, when I'm watching it, you know, from like a behind the stage thing than what I see when we see here otherwise for the camera, right? You don't see all these like frames and the mirror, this kind of lighting here, and like, you know, when you see this like outside perspective, so to speak, what you call it, then it's so much. Oh no, I get it. Oh yeah, it can. Yeah, no, yeah. It really is like, of course, how it works. But I really do enjoy it, learn, even though I've been on set myself though, so it's like, I should know that. That's kind of what I feel too, you know. But sometimes I do, yeah, sometimes I feel like I can guess, right, how it works. Whatever, but yeah, I guess the camera is moving and not the tank. Where were we? At the spin here.
이렇게 행복한 시간을 보내고 있어. 잠은 비록 못 잤지만.
아직은 잘 모르겠지. 굳이 원하면 test me. 넌 불보듯이 뻔해.
제 입으로 말하기는 그렇지만 열심히 컨셉이라.
Hit you with that 뚜두뚜두. Ah yeah, ah yeah. Hit you with that 뚜두뚜두. Ah yeah, ah yeah.
이번에 진짜 새로운 컨셉이고 강렬한 퍼포먼스 저희가 올해 연습했으니까요. 많이 기대해 주시고 사랑해 주셨으면 좋겠어요.
블링크만큼 저도 이 컴백을 기다렸으니까 곧 찾아뵐게요. 기다려주셔서 고마워요. 너무 사랑하는 우리 블링크 이번 컴백 성공합시다. 파이팅!
Ah yeah, ah yeah, ah yeah, ah yeah. 뜨거워, 뜨거워, 뜨거워 like fire. 뜨거워, 뜨거워, 뜨거워 like fire.
여러분 많이 들어주세요.
아니 그거야.
That was really nice, and you know, I might think, right? I think this was a better way to do it, then you're just watching the video and then say, okay, let's watch it behind the stage. I think it's more. It's kind of like doing any kind of, I feel, any educational stuff, right? It's like, okay, first I let you do it, right? First I will let you test how to do it. So, for example, I'm watching this staircase, right? And I figure out that, oh no, the staircase thing and then the throne thing later, they clearly moved it up there, right? Then they moved the flowers, right? You know what I mean? And by figuring it yourself, you learn something, right? And then you see the tank, and I have my own theory, right? It's probably like this. And then I see how they made. Oh, now I get it, right? And I feel that's like a bigger learning curve for me. At least that's how you learn, right? You have your own hypothesis, and then you see if it's correct or not, right? I think it's more meaningful to me, at least from like a learning standpoint, right? Because I do absolutely watch these kind of videos, and I try to learn stuff. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned earlier, right? I've always been a big fan of like Pride Runaway and all that stuff, right? So I look at that growing up, and I try to learn from that, right? I try to be, oh, that's how you do it. That's how you watch it. That's how you make this kind of outfit. That's how you draw this kind of thing. Right? So I think that's more. Like I said, if you want to learn math or whatever, right? I think it's more you test it first. You have your own theory, and then you see if it's correct or not, right? And if it's not correct, then you learn even more. So you have to reconsider your first idea, right? You have to have open mind for it. Yeah, the real key, I suppose, I think for most people, is to have an open mind. You can't be closed-minded, right? You have to be open-minded and be, oh, I was wrong. This is how it works, right? Honestly, I think that's one of my biggest strengths. If I may say so myself, as a creative person, that I have a very easy. For me, it's very easy to throw away an idea if I am proven, if I'm proven incorrectly, right? If I'm proven I was wrong, and then I have an obsessive thing that if I'm not proven wrong, it's not wrong kind of thing. Yeah, but if you can't disprove me, then I'm gonna fight you until. But that's the thing, right? I think that I'm very debate. I like to debate people, right? But I don't debate people because I want to be right. Okay, I think it's a very important thing to learn, and I spent like. I don't know what it's now, like 15 years, right, making video games, something like that. And it's like, I don't debate people and argue with them because I want to be right. I really don't. Never done that, right? What I want to be wrong, okay? Because if I have an idea, right, like the tank thing, this is my idea, I think this is how it works. And then someone says, no, you're wrong, this is how it actually is, right? Then I can learn from that. Oh, that's how it is. So if I make like a game character, if I'm designing like a female character for a game, right? So I've done it many times, right? And you get an argument with someone. Oh, how should her hair be, or her dress be, her nails, right? Her lipstick, the color, all that stuff, right? Should she have like a scar, maybe, and all this stuff, You get an argument with someone, right, over that many times, okay? Because that's how you do. You have like 20 different artists, right? So everyone has their own opinion, right? And my goal is never to be, oh, I'm right. My first idea is the right idea. My idea is to have, this is my concept, this is your concept, right? And if someone has a better idea, I want to hear that, right? So I can change and improve the end goal, right? So for me, I am very like argumentative, but not because I want to be right, because I want to be wrong. Because I want people to show me that, oh, that's a better solution, or that's a cooler outfit, or whatever, a cooler idea, or her backstory should be these things, and let's rewrite the lore or whatever, right? But I really like these videos because they're really cool. There's so much happening. I like the behind the stage things, and it definitely makes my creative, visual brain thinking something. It really activates that, and it gives me a lot of flashbacks from weird work things. Like for example, as a quick side note, but I was working at a game company then, of course, as the creative director, lead designer. This is like 11 years ago now. I feel old, guys. So I was working on that, and we had like an argument for like 2 days, all the artist people and designers, if a dragon, like an in-game dragon, so it should be red or blue. That was like a huge argument for like, no, of course red is better in these abilities. And we had like a meeting, people are screaming, each dragon has to be red. So it was like crazy. And my concept, okay, 'cause I was the boss still though, right? My idea was that you're all generic, I want you to make a gorilla instead. My point was trying to be like, no, guys. I've seen all this dragon before, okay? I need to have something new and fresh here, okay? You're arguing for something I don't even care about. Yeah, my idea was trying to convince them to not even do that. I was like, no, this is too generic, guys. I want something different, okay? I want something different. It ended up being, and this you can see this is my design then, because I'm the boss of that project. So I was like, no. It ended up being, of course, instead like a female dragon warrior lady, right? So my idea was that I wanted to inspired by lancers and dragooners in like fantasy and so on. So I made this like female dragoneer woman instead, but she didn't have a dragon. She herself was the dragon, right? She was kind of like a knight woman, like a red knight armor, right? And she had like a lance as the lancer, right? The dragoneer. She could throw the lance, and she could fly to her own lance, and she could like transform into a dragon and like kind of aim at her own lance as a landing and so on. And she could do that as scorpion, can pull in people like a harpoon thing and so on. And she had like a flame breath and so on, right? So I was really happy. She had like red flowing hair, right? Of course, she could like transform her body into like a red dragon. So she became a red dragon, I suppose, in the end. Think about it. But I was like, they started with like a generic, kind of too much generic dragon, right? Or a red or blue or whatever. And I was like, it needs that personality, okay? It's like a playable character. It's not an enemy. You're playing this female character. She's one of the main side female character on this like faction of this guy. You're supposed to play her. Right? She has to be badass. You have to feel something when you're playing her, right? You have to feel that you are her, right? So if you want to be her, right? You want to be this badass female warrior, right? Then I wrote her backstory. She was like grew up on some planet with dragons, trade, whatever. So, but you want to be her, right? You want to be strong. One word I like describing female character design, right? Female outfits, whatever, is projection. Okay, and I don't mean like projection as in like you're projecting your emotions. I mean projection as in power projection, right? So in historical aspect, talking about the wars or whatever, talking about projection, right? As I'm projecting my strength or whatever, right? Not the projection as in that's actually your emotions, but like projecting your, this is what I am, whatever. So for example here then, right? This is why I like these kind of outfits, right? She's projecting like this looks strong. She's rich, I guess wealthy, right? But this is called, telegraphic design, right? This is telling you something. You're telling me this is like a powerful woman, right? At least she has influence, wealth influence, something like that. It's projection, obviously like a queen projects, ruling power and strength or whatever, right? And so forth, right? And this is why I love this interest in here, right? When you think about it, because it's an extra power projection. Because we, the viewer, are coming downwards, right? I mean, we're coming from that angle, right? So these are making the females project stronger to us, right? They are projecting, female empowerment, whatever, female girl power, more to us, right? Than they would if the camera went straight, or even more if the camera went, obviously, from a downward spiral, right? And into them. So by coming from underneath, right? They're like the four queens, you know what I mean? So they're like power projection, right? That's a word I sort of like more and more to use, honestly, if you like it, but it's like a sidetrack. But I got into it a few months ago, a few weeks ago, when people were discussing this like, female characters in like One Piece, Kaiser, blah blah, and so on, right? And my issue with, even though I love One Piece, right? Big One Piece, my sorrow behind me, right? But it's kind of like the issue though with Oda's writing is just his thing. He never makes the female power project. He doesn't make the female characters. They have Nami has great writing, great backstory, well written character. But she never has like a power projection where you feel she's imposing, right? And that's where other like authors, and also in manhwa too, for that of course, they're better at, I think, power projecting, right? The characters in that sense. So the guy even, I don't know. But as a long video now, always like it, subscribe and so on, right? But as a final note, that's, if you're new to my channel, that's a big reason why I even make videos, guys, right? Because I make videos to a large extent to reflect over a detailed concept, and then I go to work tomorrow, and then I work, and I don't do K-pop, right? But I might make a character, you know what I mean? I might make a character, and when I make characters, right, I take inspiration, right, from everything, from music, that I from movies, right, obviously from other games, but also of course from manhwa, manga, anime, right, other games, all stuff, right. So I'm immediately thinking like, oh yeah, this outfit's pretty cool, you know. Like I like this thing here. As I mentioned earlier, I like the asymmetric. Like I said earlier, like, this is a very cool scene. It's very powerful, very badass. I like it, right? She had different, you know, as I mentioned, different armrests. I really like that, right? So in my head, I'm like, man, I could see myself designing like a female outfit after this thing, you know. This is, you know, that's so much I'm thinking, okay? Like seriously, I'm like, interesting. This could be something. Yeah, this is something. Yeah, I like that. You know, that's how my brain works. Yeah, a lot of reasons why I make the videos because I like it's like a little reflective session for me, right? And that's also why I attempt to make also when I make gaming stuff. That I like to make really long videos, right? Like we talk about this mechanic. I could talk for like 3 hours, right? Okay, we can look at like all the design in this game here for like freaking 10 hours. You know what I mean? Obviously, but anyway. The video. If you do, subscribe, press the like button, share the video, so on. And, you know, tell me what should be the next song to look out, next visual outfits, yeah, next clothing design. And of course, again, then, you know, really amazing that the man, what's called, whatever you call it, 100 million subscribers, right? That's really, really cool. Anyway, see you guys and have a great day.